Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Good morning. Yes, that really is an actual snow pile behind me. We finally had a break in the weather here in Calgary. It's been, believe it or not, minus 20s for just about 3 weeks, in and out for 4 weeks. And I thought I'd do a quick talk about the reality of winter driving and what's happening to our friend Hero here. There's been a few things that have not been so impressive for me that I didn't expect winter driving, and so let's do a quick walkthrough and we'll talk about some of the things to watch out for. Now, before getting into the actual winter driving stuff, I don't know if you guys can pick this out. I guess part of winter driving is parking in parkades and trying to find a safe place to keep your car. My hood got keyed pretty brutally. There's, probably a solid 20-24 inches of scratch that I'm gonna have to have buffed out, and man, what a mess. Not too happy about that. The other thing here is gravel, salt. They're trying to keep the roads tame. If you can zoom on that. Took a serious rock hit driving out in the Rockies from a snowplow that just thought he would be a nice and pull out right in front of me and start dumping some gravel. So not so happy about that either. One thing is kind of random for my car. It's not for everybody, but this scoop in my hood. We've had a lot of snow and some heavy snow. I'll drop a pic in here. And the snow is actually dropping into my hood, like through my hood into my engine bay. And you can't see from here, but it's actually landing right on my cold air intake. And so a few of these mornings when it's been really heavy, I've had to actually go in under the hood and clear the snow out from inside. So it might be like a truck driver thing. Maybe we get in there with a piece of cardboard or something and just tape that up for the rest of the winter. All right, around the back of the car, if you've been watching my videos, I don't spend a lot of time brushing off snow. I really take good care of my paint. But in the wintertime, in the back area here, I'm trying to put stuff into my trunk, and just totally at random, it was probably me, got some pretty good scuffs, but it could also be, parking lots, people getting a little bit too close, people carrying packages in between the cars, smacking up your paint. I've got another tiny little scuff mark here, but definitely have some work done with the body just to clean things up after winter. One other problem with winter, and I actually experienced this with my other FRS. If you have a quick look here, the FRS and all the 86 cars have an automatic adjustment because there's no windowsill, so the window slides up into the fitting on its own with a little motor. And my passenger side, when it hit really cold, when it was probably close to minus 30, just stopped working. Nothing. More fun for winter. One of the last ones is probably the one you expect most from a lowered car and a car with some body work. We always talk about how low these cars are to the ground, and mine's not dropped right down, but we had it set up for a 19-inch wheel, And for winter, I had a set of 17-inch Michelin X Ice, and so I put them back on the stock wheels. But taking that 2 inches off my wheel height has actually lowered the car. And a couple of times I've hit snow that was too deep to get through. Even pulling off, you know, just through snow like this, you can see around these curbs. Of course I shovel, but around here where the work isn't done, the front lip has actually been pulled a couple of times from the snow. And now you can see here, this fitment around my fender, the front bumper, there's actually a gap there. FRS always has a little gap around the hood. But you can see here, this one's opening up quite a bit. We're gonna have to get that pulled together and straightened out when the spring comes. Didn't expect that one. One more challenge I've had as it's getting colder and more icy, trying to balance the amount of grip I want in the back of the car with the handling up front. So at this point, check this out. I've got probably between 100 and 120 pounds of crushed rock. It's like a tiny little gravel, like a sandbag in the back. Dramatically increases my grip in the back. But now that the weather's more mixed, I'm starting to find that I'm having a little bit too much weight in the back, and I'm starting to get understeer that I've never had before in this car. You know, makes things a little bit tricky when you're trying to mess with the original design and be able to leave, you know, stoplights and keep up in traffic when you can't steer. So that's a lot of fun. I've had to actually hit the e-brake probably more than I would need to normally. But, something to think about when you're putting some weight in the back of your car. All right, winter driving suspension setup. If you don't know, I've got the Taines coilovers, and so the Taines suspension adjustment for the damping in the ride is, of course, it's under the hood. The front is easy to set up because you can access this anytime. But honestly, it's been too cold to get into the back and adjust the rear, and so I've got this set up for the 19-inch wheels, and it's actually a pretty stiff track setup. And so with all the ruts and bumps and all this stuff on the road, it's been a pretty bumpy ride all winter. Maybe I'll get around to that. All right, back inside the car. One more thing with this car, with the engine as small as it is and the temperatures as cold as they've been, like I said, like minus 20s down to minus 30. Inside the car, it takes this car a long time to actually warm up, even though it's so small. And I've actually gone back, you can check this out. I'm wearing my big boots in the car, which is brutal for driving. Because even my fleecy Vans I was, you know, raving about earlier, they're not warm enough for minus 30, and so, you know, I've probably taken a few dings in the door sills and, you know, a little bit more scuffing than I'd like, just because I'm wearing these boots. And I can tell you, my commute's about 20 minutes. By the time I'm, you know, almost at work 20 minutes later, my feet and the heat coming from the seat, it's just starting to warm up. I pretty much have, you can see this, my defrost and my foot setting on all the time. And as you know, my windows are clear, I put all the heat on my feet as much as I can, just to keep my feet warm. But then, like I said, it's such a small car, it cools off really fast. So then I need to flip the heat back up so my windows don't get frosty. But that's Canada, old Canada. It's been cold here. That's about it for today. You know, I still love driving the car in the winter. It's been fantastic. Like I told you guys, this is like drift lesson number 1. It is constantly sliding sideways whenever I want it to. And then really, when I turn back on all the aids, when I've got my traction control, stability, you know, I've got everything on, it will almost not let you spin out. It's pretty amazing the technology that these cars have these days. So hopefully you're all having fun driving your sports cars this winter. Anyone with an FRS or a BRZ, feel free to drop in some tips. That'd be great. And meanwhile, while I'm at it here in Calgary, shout out to Lost Royalty and it's Birdie. If you're not following these guys, we've got some sick gear and keeping these local guys, you know, working, because there's some fantastic YouTubers and, you know, guys creating brands here in Canada for the car scene, and you should get on it and keep these guys busy. Take care, everyone. Have fun driving out there in the winter, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
We're totally going to test our luck with the GoPro. One thing I didn't mention in the video, for guys making videos in YouTube, when it's freezing cold out, it's really hard to get these suction cuts to stick and stay on. So I washed the car, finally it dropped down to like -10 so I could finally wash the car, which is crazy because at -10 I wouldn't normally wash the car, but it was just getting nasty. And every time I try to, you know, attach one of these suction cups, it just falls off. So let's go for a spin and see if this works.
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill. Is that all you got?
Let's begin now. Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Who's my co-pilot today? What are we doing? Donuts? Mr. Bear, does he love donuts?
Give me your donuts!
Bears love donuts.
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.